believe Buffalo is going to win it, folks.
Kick your heels up and down.
We've seen why the Buffalo Bills are en route to the playoffs.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout.
Buffalo Bills go undefeated. And we're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Now, baby, come on, come on.
No one
Come on
circles the
and
wagon
shout.
like the Buffalo Bills.
We are live, and we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Overdue Bills podcast, and we're definitely happy today because the Buffalo Bills got a win, under our belt, which is always a good thing in our book. And we want to start the show off the right way, so let me start it off this way. You see him, yours truly, his hat is backwards. Our guy Mills, AKA, he definitely took all of our merch money, but shout out to him. Mills, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Victory Monday. We back in the running, so I'm happy to be on the show, man.
Absolutely. And you see him to my left, maybe to your right. My guy Matt, AKA Matty Ice, AKA just left the Yeno. Matt, what's up?
Not much, man. Just, happy to be here. Talk some Bills football, man. We're back, baby. We're back in the mix.
Absolutely. Shout out to Buffalo Bills, man. Definitely appreciate that. And Rad don't have a hat on, but he's still doing good. Rad, what's up, man?
What's good, man? I'm happy. I'm just happy when we win the games we're supposed to win, man. This season, you never know. You always got that feeling, but I'm happy when we win the games we're supposed to win, man. So, go win.
Absolutely, man. Definitely, man. Shout out to the Bills, man. We're going to get into the show. We're going to get into all of it. Definitely appreciate everybody for being on the show. And before we do that, Matt, please let the people know who is our presenting sponsor.
Sir, this episode and every other episode is brought to you by Buffalo Wing Kings. There's two things the guys here at the Overdue Bills podcast know. That's Bills football and that's wings. Our first choice and the best choice is Buffalo Wing Kings. Wing Kings is...
Yeah,
I got stuck in it.
Bingo! We got it. We got one. We got one.
Took a show off. Nah, at Wing Kings, it's Wings 101. It's over 101 different flavors in their beloved Wing of the Month special. Buffalo Wing Kings is sure to school any other wing place around. Stop down and see them at their Elmwood Village location at 484 Elmwood Avenue, or give them a call at 716-248-1427 and find out why they say, and we know they got the best wings in town, hands down. And make sure you shout us out. Overdue Bills podcast. Get 10% off your order.
Absolutely. Shout out to Buffalo Wing Kings. Definitely appreciate them. The vibes. All right, so let's do this. Let's get down to business. Quick question of the day. And this is a coaching question because, sitting here watching these last couple weeks, got me to thinking, right? I had to put my coach hat on. I think I'm about 4-1 in my coaching debut. Shout out to me. But anyways, is Sean McDermott a good coach? And I said this, earlier because I tagged this the Gabe Davis edition. And the reason why is because I'm just trying to figure out, why did it take so long for clearly the second best player on our offense to get the ball? Right? That's not engaging in hyperbole. It's just a fact. When you talk about the most talented people on offense, besides obviously Josh Allen himself, Gabe Davis is the second person, right? He's our second best player on the offense. It's just a fact. Who's our second best player on the offense?
Over Diggs?
I said besides Josh Allen, he's our second best. So Josh Allen being excluded.
Stephon
Diggs being one. Gabe Davis being number two.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So let me ask Rad. Rad, is Sean McDermott a bad coach because he didn't put Gabe Davis on the field?
McDermott not a bad coach. He's definitely above average coach. It's interesting because going into the season, I thought we was going to add, wide receiver help. I wanted us to go get a bigger guy, a big fish, a more elite wide receiver too. You know what I mean? And we brought in Emmanuel Sanders, and Mike wrote about it. Like, that's who we didn't want, right? And I thought the reason why we brought in Emmanuel Sanders is because obviously we believed in Gabe Davis. We thought Gabe Davis was going to take a big step and we already had the true number 2 in house. And the season started, it wasn't so. Emmanuel Sanders don't get me wrong, was good in the beginning. He was a number 2, but Gabe Davis, every time he plays, he just make plays. You know what I mean? So I don't think, I think maybe it's Gabe Davis. So who knows? Emmanuel Sanders had a great beginning of the season. He's a veteran guy, but nah, man, Sean McDermott is a good coach. I think I call him like the white poor man's Mike Tomlin. If that makes sense. Not that at all. So we gotta I think like he's in that mode. He's in that mode of a coach. He's a player's coach. He's like always saying the right things. He's always even killed and stuff like that. And I think, he's a good coach. I don't think, he's a defensive guy. I think he's a good coach, for sure. Definitely above average.
Let me just say, I resent the whole Mike Tomlin comparison. It's actually fire off. Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Famer. So I don't
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I'm projecting.
Oh, that's a bad projection. Anyways, Matt, how do you feel about it?
I'm on the same page as Rad. I think he's a good coach. He's he's an all business kind of guy. The players seem to respond well to him. I think I was watching the interview with Gabe Davis after the game, and they were saying, you could tell that he's only been coached by Sean McDermott in his career because, those guys, they know how to answer the questions at the end of the game, and they answer them kind of in a McDermott-y kind of way. So I do think he's a good coach and definitely good for the environment that we need in our locker room.
Mills, how do you feel about it?
I'm pretty much echoing what everybody else said, man. Sean's definitely a good coach. Like Matt said, he gets the players, he motivates them. He lets them know, things that they need to fix, need to change from, the post-game interviews. If you see the little locker room clips, he's good in those type of situations. He's good, with the environment he has, the players he has. The whole Gabe Davis thing, Gabe is a young player. Don't get me wrong. Last year, Cole Beasley was a great player as a number 2. The year before that, when we had John Brown, they was good. John Brown, Cole Beasley, before Gabe came. But Emmanuel Sanders,
we got him. Go back to Eric Mode.
I was about to go back to.
You're gonna go to Lee Evans. How far are you gonna go back, Mills?
Peerless
is number 2, the best number 2 ever. He got paid. You want to go keep going?
But no, when we got Emmanuel Sanders, he started off hot.
Lee Evans.
He was open. 75% of the time. The whole thing was just getting him the ball. I think our entire receiving core is pretty decent, in my opinion. But like Raz said, when Gabe on the field, he make plays. We used to use Cole Beasley a lot on third downs and, end zone. We in the red zone for little short outs and little quick slants and stuff. But that turned into Gabe Davis, and he's a bigger target. You know what I mean? So Josh can actually throw the ball up to him. So I like him on the field. I think he should play, probably 70% of the snaps or better going forward. And I'm excited to see what he got, in the tank.
I picked him up on a lot of fantasy teams, so I'm happy about it for sure.
Absolutely. My only issue about it is that we saw the flashes last year, right? We saw flashes last year, but we knew he had to put the pieces together. And I'm not sure what happened in the offseason. Obviously, I wasn't there every practice, but it just seems to me that we honestly needed that spark. Like, even from the first couple of games, we were bad in the red zone, and he's a big target. You know what I'm saying? And he had a great
preseason too. I know when the starters play, Emmanuel Sanders is out. He was the guy. We was like, oh, we got Davis. Then he never
saw the light of day. That's why I think McDermott. I know we keep calling him a great coach and all this, and I'm not saying he's a terrible coach, but I just think that this year he's been exposed more. Like I thought that he was like an upper echelon coach, but he's not, in my opinion. Like he's not at all actually. And it's like when talent is in front of him, like I want him to go with the talent. Gabe Davis was the talent. He's not even a bad run blocker. I know he can't run the ball, but he actually can run block a little bit. Like, so I mean, I don't understand why Gabe Davis wasn't on the field in the beginning of the year. But I'm glad we made that switch, albeit it may have been because of an injury. But sometimes those things have to happen to slap a coach in the face to let the coach know that certain players need to play. But we can move on. We can move on because we definitely got to get into this game. But before we do, I do want to say this. I want to ask everybody to please like, share, rate, review, and subscribe this. We definitely need y'all to do that. And shout out to everybody that's been on the website, overduebillspod.com, overduebillspod.com. That's something that you definitely want to go look at. Please go look at the article Mike D wrote Definitely something you want to read. And on Facebook and Instagram, we definitely have our stores up for our merch. So please go support the show. Go look at the merch. You know what I'm saying? We got it. We got different colors, different flavors, hats, everything. Everything that people need, we have it. So go mess with us before the playoffs come. And y'all looking around like, oh, we need our Bills gear. We got you. All right. So the Buffalo Bills 31, Carolina Panthers 14. Definitely a good win by the Bills. And we definitely have to go to our first segment, our give and take segment. This is the segment where we go into the game and we say, all right, there are some things that we want to take from it. There are some things we want to take to Gillette Stadium, but also there are some things we may want to leave, at Highmark. We don't necessarily want to see them again. And I'm gonna go to Mills first. Mills, give me some give and take things about this game.
I wanna take our rushing attack. I think we did an amazing job this week, stretching the play, giving Singletary, a little promise, running outside the tackles. He had a lot of cutback lane opportunity, and he made some big plays out there. I think he rushed 20-plus times. So we didn't really rely on Josh to rush at all. I know Josh was battling a foot injury, but I like when Josh only rushes when he really has to. Like the 1 3rd down, he rushed for like 20 yards. That's what I like to see. I like to see our running backs taking the bulk of the rushing attempts, being able to move the ball, and then Josh is picking it up when he has to. What I want to give or leave is we got to get healthy on our front line, man, our offensive line. Our best offensive lineman, Spencer Brown, he had an awful, awful game this week. They said he volunteered to move the left tackle, and he got over there. He had probably like 5 penalties. He actually had unsportsmanlike conduct as well. So I think we just got to, find a way to get our guys healthy up there. And sometimes that movement isn't necessary. I think we might have been able to move somebody else over to the left tackle, probably Williams or somebody, and left Spencer Brown on the right side. And he would have been a little more comfortable. You got to keep your best players, in places where they're comfortable so they can achieve, the greatness that we need them to be. But other than that, pretty good game, though.
I respect Spencer Brown, but I expect him, I guess, given that attempt. I think mid-game they should have switched back, but, he wanted to play left tackle. You understand how important that, spot is, maybe trying to make some more money for real. I mean, that's a good move. I mean, maybe it's the bad move, but if he's still trying to get reps there, I don't blame him. But what I want, I like the rushing, and, I like, the singular, picking a guy. I like that whole, that running back by committee, it worked for some teams, but, I typically like a guy, having a clear backup because it gives a guy a rhythm. It gives a guy, just, a way to pace the game. And I think Singletary did that. You know what I mean? I think, giving him 20-plus carries, I think giving, every going into any game, thinking our running back should get our running back, the guy we choose, hopefully Singletary moving forward should get 15 to 18 touches every game. You know what I mean? Whether it's handoffs or a little swing passes out, that feeling, I think, for any guy going to motivate him to play better and consistently. So I think us choosing that guy and being Singletary, I think that was I'm definitely want to take that moving forward, and for fantasy purposes too, having a clear-cut RB1. Also, what I want to leave, I think the Bulls still get, I don't know, he still get pass happy. Like he still just, like, I don't know, how he started the game, it was just like, come on, we could have just, this was the game we come and be physical and run the ball. Like I just thought we just come beat this team up. And that's what I thought. Just Josh was hurt. Don't put him in compromised positions and just out physical this team. And I thought we started off the game a little janky, just all these too much passes, especially the O-line being hurt. I didn't like how we started the game, but we figured it out. So I think I want the Bowl just have a not so predictable script all the time. That's all I feel like.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I kind of will counter that with I think that he kind of got some of the old Brian Dable stuff going this week, like with the motion plays with McKenzie, like that first touchdown set that up perfectly with that motion play where Dev scored. Getting Josh to get some quick reads for quick passes. I think that's why Gabe was really successful. He got a lot of chunk plays just off of that first read to him. So I think a lot. I want to take that, going forward is, that the offense making quicker plays, not these time development plays that have been hanging us up all season long. And what I would like to leave there is I'll piggyback on the offensive line. Just like we got to get healthy, man. It's just it's tough. It's tough to transition from right tackle to left tackle at a drop of a hat. But either way, he played left tackle in college, so that shouldn't be too big of an excuse to have that bad of a game at that position. And just we definitely got to get healthy up front.
For Spencer Brown, the penalties was the worst about it.
Mm-hmm.
Who he was playing against is legit like a star. Like he was playing against Burns. Like it's not like Burns would have did that against anybody. It's not. So I don't blame Spencer Brown. I mean, he just had a tough matchup. He was never supposed to win that. In the
not just Brown though. I mean, it definitely like Burns. In pass protection as a whole. It's just the whole offensive line. But Spencer Brown was obviously highlighted with the penalties.
Yeah. I mean, but that it is what it is. I'm not necessarily too upset about that. We took him out the game when we needed to. It's not that big of a deal. My only issue about this game is, well, I have a couple of issues. We had a slow start, and I just don't like these slow starts, man. Like, I get it. We're playing against an inferior opponent, but I will say this: like, the Carolina Panthers is not a bad defense at all. Actually, they're a pretty good defense. I think they only allow like 177 passing yards to date. Well, we had 193, but they generally only allow 177 passing yards. So I mean, it's not like they're like
heavy zone team.
They're not this bad.
Probably the number one scoring defense in the league too. So.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're definitely a great defense. And I do agree with Rad as far as Dable. I think he did settle into the game, but I think on the on-start, it's like Diggs didn't get a target to the second quarter. It's just like I just don't understand the consistency, or it's just like
I think Josh is a little uncomfortable in the pocket too, though. Like if you saw early in the game, a lot of his passes was inaccurate. Like he was throwing, a lot of high balls and
that's just who he is.
Stuff like that.
He's an inaccurate quarterback. Like I mean,
I don't think it's that bad.
I mean, he is inaccurate, but what I'm saying is that even and then to counter Rad's point, it's like Brian Dable is who he is. I don't think he's ever going to change who he is. That's why he needs to be fired. But I'm just saying, like, we're not just going to like pound it, like, right? We're not going to just run the ball 1,000 times. Yeah. We ran the ball actually more than I thought, because the game was really close. It wasn't like we blew. I mean, we did, like, the score is 31-14, but the game was actually closer than the score will entail.
Well, they didn't have a kicker, so it probably been a whole different ball game if the kicker didn't get hurt in pregame.
Bro, but when y'all notice, when Dev get in a rhythm, Dev is a good running back. Man.
He had about 5 a carry.
You like when you see it, like it's like, oh, he need more touches.
I'm not
denying
He needs
to do that more. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, he needs to do that more. Like, why is we not? You know what I mean? He's like, if you want to say if Gabe Davis number 3, Dev is clearly number 4. Like, it's like he's clearly, if you get him touches in rhythm, he can be a guy who make plays for us.
He's not a bad player. He's not a bad player. So let me just pose that question. Are we saying that Motor is getting better, or he's just getting more opportunities? Which one is it? Is he the same player that we kind of fell in love with? What was it, 2 years ago? Or is it just like Dable's like, okay, he's getting more opportunities because the coaching staff just came out and said that they're comfortable with him being our first lead running back, right? Like they're moving forward with that. I don't know if it was McDermott or Dable, but one of them just came out today and said that they're moving forward with that. So is it a situation where it's a more opportunity thing and he's just that good? Or is it like he's getting better? He was bad and now he's getting better. Matt, how do you feel?
I think it's just more opportunities. I don't ever think he was bad. I mean, he always showed flashes of being good, and then just didn't get the extra carries to kind of dig himself out of certain holes or certain opportunities that he may have missed. So it's definitely a more opportunities thing, I think.
Interesting.
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly, because starting out he was averaging 4.65 yards a carry, his first year with the Bills.
He's averaging that now.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. And as we saw in the preseason when the playing Blake, he got a little more elusive. He got a little quicker on his feet. And the more opportunities you get, the better chance you have of growing. And I think that he's just, he's taking advantage of the opportunities he's getting. Because who want to split the backfield with 3 people? Like, I need opportunity to show that I'm the better back, so I can go out there and take that starting position. And I think he's in that position right now, and hopefully, we ride it out with him.
Yeah, I think it's he's getting better, right? Because he was good. We drafted a guy in the 3rd, And it's almost like they want Zach Moss to be the guy. It's almost like the team or somebody wanted Zach Moss to be the guy. And he had to constantly keep proving himself to be that, like, hey, I am the guy. I'm here. The guy's been here. So I think, he lost. I think, he didn't win the job. You know what I mean? So I think the season has progressed and he's the better back. Now he going to get those carries now. I think it's him getting better for sure.
It's a combination of everything, but I also think that there are better opportunities for him. Meaning that Dable is actually calling better run plays, and he's putting him in a better position in order to do a great job, right? Running him into 17,000 people in the middle of the field it's just not what we should do. It's not a good play. It's just not a good play.
No, but even going back to his first year, he wasn't getting he was just the guy. Like at one point, he just became the guy. So whenever we handed the ball off, it was him. Now is when we handed the ball off. It might be him. It was just like it might be somebody else. But even so, I think it's the opportunities. If he was just the running RB1 this whole year, I think he would have been like this. He would have been a good little back for us. But now it's just the inconsistency of who's behind there, who was getting the ball, made it him be inconsistent. His confidence be low, all that type of stuff. So I think his confidence is higher. Him being an RB1, him always being the one we handing the ball off to. So.
I don't agree with that at all. I mean, it's timeshares all over the league. I mean, if you can't get with a timeshare, then you need to get out the league. Like I don't see Melvin. I don't see Melvin Gordon or Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, they split time.
That's the only one. That's the best one you got.
That's not.
That's the best one you got.
Regardless if it's the best one I got, they still are great backs.
So I said,
but also those timeshares is like 18-15. Like our timeshare is 5 and 3. So
I'm saying, what I'm saying is he's getting better. He's getting better run opportunities. It's not so much more opportunities. It's not so much he's getting better. It's just the play calling is just better for him when he's running the ball. When you run the ball,
plays and stuff are great for him.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
But and thank you, Josh. Tony Pop. Rad just be talking. We don't even gotta respond to him. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to our premium player segment. Right, we won 31-14. And I'm sure the guys have a specific player that they may want to highlight, good or bad. I started the trend of bad, and we can keep that going if y'all want. But before we do that, Rad, can you please let the people know who is sponsoring this segment?
Yes, 716 Premium. 716 Premium. Oh, sorry, I lost it. All right, here you go. 716 Premium is a niche lifestyle store conveniently located in the downtown area. They aim to promote health and wealth by providing many non-tobacco luxury smoking accessories, clothing, and even a large selection of premium products in the premium service. They're open from 10 to 10 every day, and they deliver also. Shop Premium. Also hit up their website, 716premium.com.
Shout out to Premium. Matt, I know you love the Bills. Give me a player you want to highlight from yesterday's game.
Obviously the easiest one is Gabe Davis, right? He got his first 2 touchdown game. He just made plays that a lot of our receivers don't. Like on that first down that he caught, he went back to the ball and was really strong with the ball and was really physical. We don't have a receiver on our roster like that. Even Dawson Knox really isn't like that. So just certain qualities that he brings to the game in that aspect is huge, and he showed it yesterday for sure. And obviously capping it off with the 2 touchdowns that is hopefully the answer that we need in our red zone offense. So I'm going to highlight Gabe Davis.
Shout out Gabe Davis, right?
I go Obata. That's how you say his name. I go Obata. Yeah. He had the 2 sacks, some clutch sacks on Cam. So he had we wanted some pressure. He was the unlikely guy. We didn't think it was going to be for him. So hey, I'll take it. Whoever get there. So shout out to Obata. He had a good game.
So Obata revenge game, man. They let him,
They let him go.
I was gonna highlight him, but he had that roughing the passer earlier, so I couldn't give it to him.
Okay. All right. I think he made it up for it.
I'm highlighting Dane Jackson, man. I see the hunger in his eyes, through the helmet. You know what I'm saying? On TV. My man hungry.
Pause, bro.
My man hungry, bro. He hungry out there.
He got the eye of the tiger.
He led the team in tackles. He's our clear number 1 corner over Levi. So when Trey come back, I can see Levi going to the bench. He's really defending the number 1. He was with DJ Moore pretty much the whole game. He got beat one time, but we had Cam at quarterback, so Cam, missed the pass. But I think he's doing an amazing job on the outsides, man, outside of the numbers. So I got Dane Jackson, man.
Shout out to Dane Jackson. I think he is the decent quarter. And I'm gonna be honest, hot take, but I think we need to try to trade Tre'Davious White effective immediately. I don't know how that's gonna work with the injury, but I honestly think we need to trade him for parts, bro. I don't think he's gonna come back as a good corner.
You want to trade
all.
him and Josh Allen?
No. What I'm saying is, if we can get 6 first rounds to Josh Allen, I would do that any day. I think anybody would do that any day of the week. But I honestly I believe that we.
What you get for him?
Who? Trey?
What you get for Trey?
We definitely got to get a first and like a fourth or a third. Shout out to
in that room we can't trade a guy like that. That's just blasphemous.
Yeah,
that's why we don't win Super Bowls and Belichick does. But anyways, let's move on. All right, let's transition.
Might even have a point.
I know I have a point because that's what all the great coaches do. Let's transition to the playoff picture, right? It was a shellacking. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to Josh. Levi Wallace did play great. AJ Klein did have his first career interception. And shout out to Tara. We see y'all back. Please like and share. Y'all know the vibes. All right, let's transition to the playoff picture because it's very important, right? We're in a race. We're in a fight of our lives, unfortunately. And there's a lot of teams, that's ahead of us, and there's some few teams that's behind us. That's what I'm saying. We still gotta keep winning. But before we get to this New England Patriots game, I did want to do this, right? I wanted to go to each individual person. I wanted to ask you about a specific team. And I wanted to see how you feel we fare against them and what we would probably have to do in order to beat them. Right? As it stands right now, the Buffalo Bills is in 7th place, right? We're in 7th place. And I believe we would play the New England Patriots, right? 2 play 7. Yeah. Obviously, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how that's going to go. We're going to play them tomorrow, so we're not going to talk about that right now. But I did want to go to Matt first, right? I want to go to Matt first because the Cincinnati Bengals is in 4th. They could possibly go higher because, depending on how seeding works. So, Matt, I wanted to ask you, how do you think we fare against the Cincinnati Bengals, and what do you think we would have to do in order to win?
Well, obviously, you got to take away, you got to play to our strengths, which is, make Joe Burrow uncomfortable in the pass game and not let Joe Mixon run for 200 yards against us. So you got to take away the run game from them first, and it's like you got to pick your poison. Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback, but I will take him throwing the ball, a ton of times a game than Joe Mixon getting loose and controlling the game himself. So that you'd have to do that, and then their defense, I don't think they could keep up with ours. So we definitely would have to outscore them in some type of a shootout for them.
Interesting. So you think we are the better team?
I definitely do. We have the better quarterback. We have the better receiver core, even though Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase is having a great year. T. Higgins is playing well.
Oh, you just said that too much with your chest. I think they're good. They good. It's close.
You put one versus one. Diggs over Chase, and then I think Gabe Davis is better than T. Higgins any day of the week, and that's just. And then you got Cole.
All right.
Any day.
I'm a Bills fan, but I hope that. But don't just say that with your chest now.
Listen,
Higgins is a dog.
Better tight end. Better tight end. We got
y'all get on me.
I like Gabe Davis.
They beat us. Their running back is better. That's it.
Okay.
So the Buffalo Bills have a better team than Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes.
And if you're in the comments, you could definitely answer these questions. All right. So Matt said we're gonna shellac the Cincinnati Bengals. That remains to be seen. All right. So next up, they're ahead of us, right? The Los Angeles Chargers. Again, I don't know where the seeding is going to go, and I don't necessarily. Obviously, we don't have to talk about the Chiefs. We beat them. You already know the vibes. And the New England Patriots, for those of you who just came on, we play them next week. We're going to talk about that in a second. But the Chargers they are in front of us. And I'm going to go to Rad. Rad, how do you think we fare against the Chargers, and do you think we're the better team?
I think we kind of similar in some ways. Our teams, we got defensive coaches, we relying, on the defensive side somewhat, and having a young explosive quarterbacks. I think we just got the better version of it. I think Josh is a little better than Herbert right now. Yes, Eckler is an elite running back, and Keenan Allen is also great. But I think our total package of offense, if we humming on all cylinders, is better. But Justin Herbert, he can go off with anybody. He can go off. A lot of people, some people are putting him above a Josh Allen this year. So, but I think ultimately, Josh Allen's still the better quarterback. And I think our defense is better. I think our defense, just our secondary is so formidable. I think we go against, Keenan Allen. I think, he's good, but he's not just a game buster. And Mike Williams became who he was, who we thought he was. He became just a guy again. And I think, if we contain Eckler somewhat the best way we can, I think we can outscore those guys because I think their defense can be had.
Interesting. All right, so 2 for 2. I'm going to go to Mills. Mills, I want to talk about the Tennessee Titans. I know they beat us earlier in the year. Obviously, they had a different team. We don't really know what team we will play if we play them in the playoffs. But how do you think we fare against the Tennessee Titans?
I think the game we played against Tennessee in the regular season was a fluke game. So I'm all for the Bills. The Tennessee's been terrible the last couple of weeks. Don't get me wrong; they're missing, 2 of their top 3-star players. But their defense is, they're holding off a little bit. But I think anybody has the potential to get in the red zone against them and put up points. The whole thing is just punching it in. Matched up against them, I don't think Tannehill can beat you. I think Tannehill can manage a game. So as long as we get a fresh start, a good start, and get up maybe two touchdowns, 10 points, something like that, I think it's tough, for Tennessee to fight back and win the game. They say Derrick Henry may be back. They say Derrick Henry may be back for the playoffs. But I think we'll have a philosophy to stop the run against them if they make it there. But they got 10 wins, right? Don't they?
I don't know. They're not good.
I
hope if they do, I want to play I just think that they just lost to the Steelers. I know we lost to them earlier, but Steelers is not good.
Nigga, we lost to them.
I'm not a believer in Tannehill, bro. I'm not a believer in Tannehill. And I think they're just not a good team. I hope to I'll hope to play them.
I hear you. And Josh said he hopes to play them too. I'm sure a lot of Bills fans are saying we hope to play the Titans. But I'm sure there are Titan fans say they hope to play the Bills. The Bills suck. They have a terrible offensive coordinator. Right. Their quarterback is foosball. It's a lot of things I can say about the Bills, right? Because we've seen it. We lost to the Jaguars, y'all. But anyways, so Mike was supposed to answer
Arizona lost to Detroit.
I never said Arizona was good.
Titans lost to the Jets.
I never said the Titans was good either. So let me say this, Mike.
We were just talking.
I didn't say they were good though.
You made a point about it.
Mike, I didn't say they were good. Mike was supposed to be on the show. Prayers to his situation. He couldn't, had a situation he couldn't be on the show. But I do want to talk about the Colts and the Baltimore Ravens. Somebody who said that the Colts is the toughest matchup. I think the Colts are terrible, and what I mean by that is Carson Wentz is the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. He's god awful. So if we lose to the Colts in the playoffs, I think Sean McDermott should be fired effective immediately. That's all I'll say about them. And Baltimore,
all he gotta do is be a little bit better than Philip Rivers.
Yeah, I guess so. But he's not. He's terrible. Baltimore, for them, if we play Huntley, I'm scared because God knows he's a man amongst boys apparently. But if it's Lamar Jackson, I'm not worried. We beat them last year. We can beat them again. It's not that serious. So let me say this too. The reason why I brought this up because I kind of knew that we were kind of gonna deal with everything else but the Bills, right? And when Matt came, Rad came, and Mills, they talked about everything else but what the Bills had to do, and I knew that was going to happen. Because I think we think that it's just a foregone conclusion that we're going to be great, but we have not been great this entire year. And that's one of the issues that I have. And with that being said, I do want to go to our next segment, expectation versus reality. Because I think we have a problem with that, right? The things that we expect to what actually is happening on the field. Like we keep starting slow. Our quarterback is not as good as he was last year. Our offensive coordinator, God bless his soul. I don't know if he's dealing with some family issues. I know he had death in the family. I don't know if that's clouding his judgment, but his play calling is erratic to say the least. Our offensive line is not good. There's a lot of things about the Bills that it's like, I really don't know what's going on. But with that being said, Matt, can you please let the people know who our sponsor is for this segment?
Yes, sir. This segment is brought to you by the good people at Buffalo Pet Supply. Do you have a pet? Are you looking to get a pet or know someone who has a pet? There's only one place to send them to make that pet live its best life. Buffalo Pet Supply. Specializing in fish, small animals, and reptiles, Buffalo Pet Supply can get you set up or maintain whatever setup you may have. Stop down and see the family-owned and operated location at 1345 Military Road, Kenmore, New York, or give them a call at 716-874-1951.
If you don't use it, you might lose it. But anyways,
yep. Once you get there, let them know that the Overdue Bills podcast sent you. You get 10% off your order.
Shout out to Buffalo Pet Supply, where their expectation is your reality. All right, this is what I want to do. I want to talk about this upcoming matchup at Gillette Stadium against the New England Patriots, and I want us to focus on the Buffalo Bills, right? I want us to focus on the Buffalo Bills first, if we can. And I'm gonna go to Rad first. Rad, how do you feel we fare against the New England Patriots in Gillette, and what do the Buffalo Bills have to do in order to win, specifically the Buffalo Bills?
I think we're gonna have to. I think Josh Allen gonna have to play, his best game. Essentially, I think, we gotta take, that second half of Tampa Bay, quick decisions, because I think Patriots, they're gonna play a lot of man, right? I think they play a lot of man. They're gonna be sending people, so it's gonna be quick decisions, quick reads, and I think Bill is gonna, test his decision making, and it is gonna be up to Josh, to win that battle. So I think, Josh got to play his best game. I think DeBoer got to call a good game, hopefully an even game, to help Josh out, to not just put it all on him, to get the ball out of his hands quick, to run some plays, to run some traps, to run whatever you got to run. You know what I mean? To not always put the decision on Josh. So yeah, we got to play our best game. I believe in our defense. I think Mac Jones still a rookie. Their offense is not explosive. Damian Harris is out. Stevenson is good, but I think Damian Harris is the better back. So I don't know if he's gonna be back by. We'll see. But I think we spent somewhat of a bend don't break type of defense. So even if we do allow rushing yards and stuff like that, I think Mac Jones is gonna be limited. And I think they're not gonna score a lot of points. And I think if Josh is on his A game, and I think he should be on his A game, he didn't have to run that much. He probably gonna be a little more healthier this week. We should win this game. I think we're the better team.
So Rad talked about Josh Allen and what he had to do. So Matt, I want to ask you this question. As far as coaching is concerned, Sean McDermott, Dable, Leslie Frazier, like what do they have to do, right? We have this expectation of them, but what do they have to do in order for us to get this win against a Bill Belichick?
Well, obviously on the defensive side, make Mac Jones throw the football. So we have to stop, even let them get half of the production they got running the football, and I think we are ultimately the most successful defense on the field in the game. Make Mac Jones throw the football. On the offensive side, we have to score 21 points. I think 21 points from us wins us this game every time, because I don't think Mac Jones, especially like Rad mentioned, the bend don't break part, they're not going to end up putting up touchdowns in the red zone if they get down there. So that in those two facets of the game. Then on the McDermott side, we're at a point where every game is a playoff game going forward.
Oh,
this game in particular will probably win us the AFC East if we win this game. Granted, you got to look ahead to Atlanta and New York, but this game right here is for the AFC East. Whoever wins this game is going to win the AFC East, in my opinion. So you gotta not be afraid to take those chances, and kind of let Josh do his thing. If you're such a defensive dependent coach, if you're in those situations where it's 4th and short and you got to go for it, don't put it in the hands of a fake punt. Let Josh do his thing.
Mills, let me ask you this. There's a lot talked about, as far as our running attack. You know what I mean? We ran the ball 22 times last week. Is it a situation where we need to run the ball more this game? Or is it a situation we need to rely on what has gotten us to this point, and that is just passing the ball? How do you feel about it?
I think we need to be a well-balanced team in this game. New England has a great front seven. We have to make those linebackers play honest. They blitzed a lot, don't get me wrong, the weather was bad here, but they're a blitzing team, and we want them to play honest. At the end of the day, the 21 I don't like. I think we have to put up 31 points. So we have to move the ball. We're 7-0 when we score 31 points or better. The Patriots only scored over 31 one time, and that's when they played against the Jets. They scored 45, but they scored touchdowns on defense. So we have to make Mac Jones beat us.
Mills with the stats. Let's go, Mills.
I don't think he can. So, as long as we can. And 31 is Matt's number. I'm surprised he didn't say it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't say it.
If we win 31, if we score 31, we're definitely going to win. But I think 21 is the number we got to get to. It's gonna. It's gonna do
So
it.
let me ask you this real quick. Because I think it's gonna be a slow paced game. I don't think Sean McDermott is gonna hurry up, and I actually want to see more hurry up. I'm not saying like the whole game,
I
but
disagree.
do you think it's a situation we should limit the
I
mistakes?
think you want to put up 50 today.
I think the bowl is going. I think it's like a challenge. I think McDermott gonna be. I know that whole win in the whole game. The whole much ado about Bill. But I gave him credit about being, running the ball. That whole thing. I think they're gonna come out, playoff atmosphere type of game, and they're gonna give you their best game. I don't think it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be treated as such as.
So I'm talking about a
hurry up game they can do.
A hurry up.
Yeah, I think the bowl is going. I think the bowl is going to try to start fast. I think
the bowl will all the opportunities, man.
I think it's just go off blazing. That's what I feel is going to happen.
I mean, even starting fast, if we get up 14-zip on them and they got to throw the ball, that plays in our favor. And it all goes back to make Mac Jones throw the football. They're not gonna be running the ball 35
JC Jackson, they got some good corners, but JC Jackson probably gonna shadow Diggs. So I think this is gonna be a Gabe Davis type of probably quick and
and that's another thing. They play a lot of one-on-ones. They have to capitalize on that.
Yeah, this is the game. This is the game the wide receivers game waiting for. This is the game.
Absolutely.
This is the game.
I just think
everybody get paid for this game. Everybody get paid for this game.
I agree.
This is it.
I just think that Dabo's going to try to limit the mistakes of Josh Allen. And we're just going to try to play it slow and try to just grind out a game. I honestly believe that's what we're going to do. I don't want to do that.
He haven't did that yet. He haven't did that yet. He going to do it now?
Yeah. That's just
if he do that, he getting fired. If he do that.
Yeah, and I think that plays the
McDermott should fire him
too.
Yeah, I've been saying that.
After that game. He shouldn't do it. He shouldn't do that.
But what'd you say, Mills?
So I think if we play like that, that's going to play in the Belichick's favor. It gives them time to make a lot of adjustments and stuff. And we want to make that defensive captain make those adjustments on the field.
He better do whatever he think is his best version of himself. Do it, bro. Don't. I mean, I'm not. Even though I'm the guy who wants to run more and stuff, but like, bro, you do what you think you're gonna win the game. Don't, bro. Do this.
I'll tell you one thing.
They play man to man. Diggs one-on-ones. It's gonna be one-on-ones. A lot of stuff like that. You gotta win. Everybody gotta win.
Our front four gotta do better too, man. Like in the preseason, we were so proud to say that we got a good front four and we rotating players, in and out of the game. They all fresh, they all healthy, getting pressure. Like they not doing nothing up there, man. And Oliver been quiet the last 3 weeks.
Are you surprised?
3 weeks.
Last
week, you mean?
They only give you like 2 or 3 tackles a game. Get some pressure on the quarterback. Mac Jones is good enough. If he gets some time in the pocket, he can make a 20-yard play.
Yeah.
Well, it remains
our
to be
back
seen.
half been so. I mean, when the games we won, obviously they gave up some stuff, but our back half been really good. You know what I mean? And when you got a good back half, it kind of erase some things for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we'll see. Definitely looking forward to the game. I definitely want to see how it plays out. This is definitely for all the marbles. And we'll see. So let's do this. Matt, could you please let the people know who won the contest? And can you please let the people know about the contest? We know we put it up late. We apologize, but we're gonna get it back together.
So we had another repeat winner this week. Our guy Eno, he won again, but he was closest to the yardage. There's got a lot of people very close this week. So it was tightly contested. Still nobody trying to get that Mills money, man. We've had a couple people close to the exact score. But shout out to Eno. Congrats for winning this week. And we're going to run the same contest again for the Bills versus the Patriots game this Sunday. You're going to predict the score. Your tiebreaker, just in the case that we don't have anybody predict the correct score, is going to be the total offensive yardage from the Buffalo Bills. And then you're going to tag 2 people on the post that we put up on both of our Instagram and our Facebook pages. No like side pages, putting your prediction on something else. It's got to go on this one post. It's all in one spot. So we're gonna post that up later on tonight, and make sure you get in. You have until 1 p.m. on Sunday to get in that contest.
Absolutely. Shout out to everybody who participates in the contest. All right. Thank you everybody for coming on the show, showing up. Definitely appreciate you in the comments as always. Please like, share, subscribe, rate, and review. We are on all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of those amazing things. We're in the metaverse if you're there. Shout out to the website, overduebillspod.com. overduebillspod.com. We got all your merch you need. You see the flavors, you see the color, you see the hats. And definitely go to our Facebook page and our Instagram page. We have our store set up on there. We got your needs covered. Please get your merch before the playoffs. We need you right now. We're going to be number one, and we need you to get your merch right now so everybody can have it. And with that being said, y'all know how we do it. We end every show with a little bit of that. Hey, 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 hey.
And